All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Just missed a pop-up. Something happened. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Perfect. Would have been here a little earlier, but my dog picked a great time to have an accident in the bathroom, so I had to clean that up. It was not good, but we're here and ready to go. Hope you guys are having a good Sunday afternoon. See a Rowdy Bush, Warren, Stacy, room reveal. We've done that several times. Not a reveal. 8-ball will Denny speed on pit road today. Not so good. I don't know if not so good means, yeah, it looks not good for Denny, as in he will, or it doubts what you said, but 8-ball will Connor Zillich win? Ball says never. Twitch stream is stuttering. Shame. I can't do anything about that. We'll just end it. Interesting that we could stream a game and not this. Look at it. Testing. So we're also streaming over on Twitch. I just wanted to test it out. Oh yeah, it is. That's horrible. Well, it was a good try. Wild that it worked last night, not now. I wonder what the difference is between last night and now. What additional factor could be bottling up my internet? You'd be busy, Jason? Fred Scott, Gwinnett's Car Sales just subscribed. Thank you for joining here with us. There's no United States Airlines. Spirit Airlines, I said, was the affordable GOAT. I stand by that. Now, Delta's my favorite carrier. But when it comes to going somewhere cheap and affordably, Spirit was hard to beat. And if you knew what you were getting into, like, okay, I won't have a carry-on, or I have to pay for my carry-on, or I'm going to upgrade to the front seats, whatever, then you knew what to expect in terms of charges. If you're somebody that just sits there on a plane, or it puts on music or an audiobook or something, you don't need internet. You're not paying for that. If you can wait an hour on a plane to eat, Warren just subscribed again. Welcome, other Warren. Dead Tip 299 through Super Sticker. I have no idea why it's using the Stream Labs pop-ups, because I switched over to Stream Elements. Must have just done that for the other scenes. So I'm using both. I'm using Stream Labs and Stream Elements. That's a headache. So much going on. I haven't even opened the race yet on here. Yeah, the 8-ball is not very smart, but I mean, if you've owned an actual Magic 8-ball, you know it's just going to give you a random answer. So looking through our field, I saw qualifying. I saw some qualifying. And Carson Hocevar held on to the pole. Suarez also up there. Thing I want to point out, 2 Spire guys. They're in a lawsuit right now with Joe Gibbs Racing about taking, I believe Chris Gabehart. They said he took Gibbs setups with him. And that's where they're getting all the speed from. But you have these 2 up here, okay? That's like pretty wild. So whereas, you know, he's normally around 12, 13. So that's a pretty big jump. And then back here, 19th, Michael McDowell. What did Michael do? Did they just not give him the setup that they got from JGR, allegedly? Corey Haim's 18th. The Toyotas are going to be strong today. In my evidence, this not Corey Haim, Riley Herbst is starting in the top 20. So the Toyotas are going to be good today. I almost wore my other hat. I think Stacy's hat came in yesterday. So I was going to wear it to match. But I decided to go with the Gordon Brickyard hat. All right, cars are on track. It would be pretty wild for Hocevar to go back-to-back here. You got it done in the truck race. It's just really hard to win from pole. Wow. This up for you guys. Carson Hocevar made the New York Times. I don't know if anyone cares about newspapers anymore. That's a full page in the sports section in the New York Times about Carson Hocevar's first win and the potential he could have. That is really neat. I feel like they could have picked maybe a couple better pictures, but that's all right. How about that? Oops. Okay, we're where we need to be now. They just have Hocevar everywhere. See, this is where I think Clint Boyer should be. If you guys see, I'm guessing this is a pre-race segment. This is where Boyer should be. They should have him in the infield like Rutledge or in the stands talking to fans. I think that would be more of a home for him than up in the booth. He may not want to do that, but I think he would be good at it. Has the right energy. Kyle Busch, new crew chief, decided to swap. I think that was announced like Monday or something. It came out really quickly. So I have an update for you guys. If someone comes in here asking how to watch the race, don't use this command when it's not relevant. But if someone asks, and we're gonna help them out, exclamation point DD12. Put that in the chat. See if the bot works. Beep, boop. Boom. And it'll give them the directions of how to get there. So we're doing a little work here. That should save us some time. Instead of having to type it out, instead of having to talk about it, you can hit exclamation DD12. Bang. It'll let them know. Welcome, Daniel King. Larson has a Pixar Cars diecast. Same people who own Wordle. Never played a Wordle. Not one. Christian should be getting his hat Tuesday. I'm not sure, Jason. My memory's not so good. So if you're having a good Sunday, see, everything's bigger in Texas, and they show all the fans. That's not nice. All right, let's get back to our leaderboard. See if we see anything else notable. Busher up here. The RFK guys are usually really close together, so it's really weird to see Busher and not a Priest and a Keselowski. So that's really odd. I do think Busher's the best driver at RFK right now. But another notable, Kyle Busch, 6th. RCR will randomly find speed here at Texas. I don't see Austin Dillon, so that's not true for everyone. Let's see if Kyle can hold that. Another guy up here, Bowman, starting top 10. It's good to see. And Connor Zillage, 12th. Connor Zillage has had a really rough start to the year, really rough. He's about to get passed in the points by Alex Bowman, who's missed several races, so he needs a good day. Chase, William Byron, pretty close together. Larson not too far forward. So the Hendrick guys, pretty even distribution right now. Not too far apart. Peter Hagen-Smith, or Hegan. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I thought it said Pete Hegseth, and I was like, welcome, sir, Mr. Secretary of Defense, or Secretary of War. Yeah, we changed the name. I'm still mad about that. It impacted my work greatly. SVG back here. Blaney, pretty far back. That's not a great start. So Priest 20th, and what happened to Kez? 25th qualifying spot. That's about where Brad starts, and he'll just slowly work his way up to catch up to Busher. Hopefully. Austin Dillon dead last. Bubba Wallace second to last. Yeah, Bubba backed the car into the wall in qualifying. Pretty hard hit. If it was earlier in the Gen 7 era, that's a concussion. All right, lights are out on the pace car. The cars are side by side. We're about to go green flag racing. Win. Had one for ages. We'll see. He started the year so well. All he had to do was not even win races. It was just to finish like pretty much top 15 every week. 15, not even top 10. His teammate has won, what, 4 races or 5 or 20? I don't know. I just feel like that's got to be a lot of pressure on Wallace to go out and win because his teammate has been so successful. All right, we stay green further than we made it in the O'Reilly race. Hey, there's nothing wrong with tea if it's sweet. Sweet tea. Like some Milo's sweet tea. That's good stuff. Get the extra sweet. I think that's the purple top. That's the diabetes tea. Fall 25, not bad. Glad to have you. All right, we've kind of single filed out back through the field. Gibbs was able to get by Bowman, so Bowman back to 10th. Chase Elliott up a couple spots, so he's right behind Larson now. Priest is also moving up through the pack, I think. Yeah, he is 18th. And Kyle Busch up a spot to 5th. Kyle said he could make Denny's life hell. Let's see if he makes it happen. That would be hilarious. Hoyheim dropping back a bit. Blaney still scored 28th. And Brad back to 29th. Rough. Austin Dillon only up 2 spots so far. 2 Dillons back here. 35th, 36th. Not a great start for the brothers. Wish Gordon would do one more race. He has been doing the IROC races. I know it's not NASCAR. I think we all wish he would get back in a NASCAR, but I think that ship has sailed. Junior tried to talk him into doing it. He said, let's just do one more. And it doesn't even have to be a cup race. It can be O'Reilly. It can be trucks. And Gordon was like, nah. And he was trying to get like Tony back in, all these guys, for just one last big race. I think it would have been really interesting to see what the ratings would have been if all those big names had showed up again. All right, I'm going to go ahead and check into the NASCAR Fan Rewards program, get my points here. Not bad, not bad. We get my notepad up as well, just in case something happens that's notable. So as far as stretch the gap, we don't see big gaps often in this Gen 7 car. And right now it's sitting over a second. And there's about a second between Hamlin and Busch. So that's a big fall off there. Under a second now. Chili's headquarters is 28 minutes away from Texas Motor Speedway. I heard it was close, but I didn't know it was 28 minutes away close. Use your hero 24, Jeff. That's a good driver to pick. Yeah, a lot of drivers, a lot of people in general just have to get used to talking to cameras or talking to microphones. And for a driver, I feel like that would be really hard. You have to remember all your sponsors. You have to remember the name of the race, the sponsor of the race, all the people that you need to thank if you're, winning a race, whatever. Junior really struggled with that for a while. He would just clam up during an interview. And later in his career, once he got to like the second half, he really opened up. And that's, where he became the Dale Jr. he is today. That's a big boy right there. That's a big boy. A 1/18th. So compare the 118 to the 124. How do I do this? I don't have a lot of screen real estate to work with. Yeah, it's the 118's a lot bigger than the 124. I have a few 164s. I don't primarily collect those. Wow, Jason said he has a Michael Waltrip 124th scale autographed Napa car from the 2001 Daytona 500. That's a wild car to have. Man, those Napa cars look so good. I don't think I have a Waltrip. I don't think so. I'm sure I could find one for cheap. A lot of the drivers from like the early 2000s, you can find their 124s for like $10, $20 on eBay. And even cheaper if they don't have the box, the original box. I threw all my original boxes away. Right, Suarez has fallen off, and Briscoe is running down Hocevar. It's a matter of time. Look at the lap times. Hocevar clearly has a shorter run car right now. How well and how, effective can Hocevar be aero blocking? We've seen it time and time again in this Gen 7 car. You can get up to the leader, but can you pass? That's like 0.3 a lap difference. That's a lot. They are gaining on him. Okay, Briscoe just got hit by the arrow wake. That just raised my blood pressure by 10 points. That's awesome, Jason. It was Joey at the front. Briscoe wouldn't even be close. Yeah, Joey, Denny's really good at it too. I know Joey gets a lot of the flack because he was one of the guys in the memorable, what was it, the Kansas race, and I think he's also done it at Vegas. Like, he's an insane arrow blocker, but Denny is just as bad about it. That's rough. So it's really frustrating to see in the Cup Series. They can't pull up right on the bumper of the car in front of them like we could in the trucks, like we could in O'Reilly. We get to our biggest, most prestigious form of stock car racing, and when they try to run behind the car in front of them, they just wash up the track. That is not great. Blaney's up to 22nd. Brad is back to 30th. Brad's sliding. 30.3 right now, though. He's running a faster lap time than Hocevar. 30.3. I mean, that's not a bad lap time. He just doesn't have track position right now. I don't know if he's being consistent with 30.3s. William Byron, 30 flat. That's a pretty fast lap. Running about with the leader right now in terms of lap time. And then he drops half a second there. That can be the difference between the leader and the further back car. You can run a fast lap, but can you run it consistently? He dropped off a half a second there. Suarez continues to fall after starting second, back to 11th. Bowman still holding here in the top 10. He's about 56 laps to go in the stage. Yeah, Ryan Newman in his prime. That's a very important thing to point out. In his prime, Ryan Newman later in his career, it would still be hard, but not impossible, just due to driving much slower cars. All right, Denny Hamlin, a familiar face up front. We're going to our first commercial break. Pamela, thank you for your comment. Maybe you should pay for a cable package, or you can ask on how to watch the race. I can't show the race on the channel, Pamela, because that would get the channel taken down. That's how YouTube works. Copyright. These companies pay millions of dollars to broadcast the NASCAR season. They will take legal action if you do. Not able to. I would love to show the race. We're just not allowed to do it. Oh no, don't put the DD12. No, don't put that right now. That's if somebody asks how to watch it. Not just gonna come in here and just say that. She wants to ask, go ahead. Well, if you need to see the race, Pamela, you can ask here. It's not you, Pamela. It's just we get so many people in here saying similar things. People come in here, put the race on. I can't do it. But we do have a way you can watch it if you're interested. I'm not affiliated with the site at all, but they do show the race. Let me go ahead and just test that to make sure it's working today. It is working. Or if you would just like to know, Pamela, type exclamation DD12 in the chat, and it'll give you the instructions for how to find it. Put it in your hands. And it's a link that works every week. You can do this every single week for every race. It's pretty useful. I think Christian was the one that told me about that. I'll do it. I'll do it for you, Pamela. No. King and Mako tried to earlier. Just follow the comment that the bot just posted, and that will lead you to the race, to the promised land. I saw the emoji blast. I'm like, is he just using emojis, or did we get a caution I didn't see? Hamlin's still out front. He's got Briscoe a fair amount. Oh, Bell's down pit road. Maybe tire issues? Taking right sides. All right, so Bell short pitting here for a potential advantage. Briscoe also down, so Briscoe may try to jump Hamlin in the running order. If this is a good stop, Briscoe may actually gain the lead here. I didn't see a ton of fall off in the lap times, though. This is not a true top 10. A lot of guys are pitting right now. He still has a long way to go. He was able to crank a few fast laps, but then he would follow it up with a half second off the pace lap. Really weird to see. And maybe he's just struggling in dirty air. All right, Denny's coming down this time by. Briscoe's got to run like a 29 flat to gain the lead here. I didn't see a ton of fall off throughout that run, so I'm a bit worried in terms of the race. This is already a hard track to pass at. This is a hard car to pass with. And if the tire is also, you know, low on wear, it's going to be a long race. Top 10 before? I don't think so. I don't think so. 10th place was Chase Elliott. 9th place was Bowman. 8th was Reddick before pit cycles. Yeah. One day we will. Not on here, but one day we'll just watch on Discord. Maybe an ARCA race or an IndyCar race. And, you know, have our mics on. I bet it did. Indeed it did. Very nice. I know Junior was pretty happy to get that book out. Gordon also had a book put out when he retired. I've read through that front to back. Jeff gets deep and dirty about it. He just goes into detail about his first marriage, about what went wrong, about what he did wrong. Like, he's very open about that. All right, Ty Gibbs on and off pit road. Chase Elliott jumped Alex Bowman during the pit cycles, but they both jumped Tyler Reddick. William Byron just a couple spots back, so William Byron might cycle back up to 12th if they stay running like this. But Byron may get by Stenhouse on this lap, so he may cycle to 11th. Hocevar ran long there, so this could come back around in his favor, but I'm just not seeing much fall off with these tires. Running at 29.5, Reddick just coming off pit road, 29.4 for Hamlin. So we were looking at about 0.6 of fall off, maybe 0.8. It's just not a crazy amount over the course of the run. Josh Berry coming down in the Wurth scheme. This is the Wurth 400. Good looking car. So Briscoe did jump Hamlin in the running order by coming down like one lap earlier. Austin Dillon running right in front of Briscoe. All right, Brad coming down. Didn't like that. Brad's going to have a tough day. I would have to look at all of them side by side to say that for sure. It just looked pretty mean. Black with some red accents. That's usually going to give you a decent scheme. Chad Benjamin already down 4 laps. Cody Ware down 2 laps. Herbst, Cole Custer, Ty Dillon, Austin Dillon have all gone down laps. Brad Keselowski might be next. I know he was around here around 30th, so when he gets out of pits, it's going to be close. He's going to slip down this running order a good ways further. Look at that, Byron, 11th. Moving up a bit. Bowman is holding where he is. Chase Elliott is gotten by Ty Gibbs. Hocevar out and off of pit road with the freshest tires out of our leaders. Running at 29.5 right now, but by the time he would catch up to anyone to pass, his tires will have equalized, so that won't be a huge advantage for Hocevar. Lap times are already pretty much matching with guys who actually pit above him. Kyle Busch, though, 4th. 9.7, bit faster, only 1 second back from our leaders. He was like, what, I think 2.5 to 3 seconds behind before the pit stops. He'd cut it down to 2 at one point. King Mako, King Mako. You and Jason both love your wordplay, the puns. It's like reading in text, you know, it's like You know, you read it straight up, and then your brain immediately, like, red flags it, like, I know what they meant. I didn't even see Jason was the one that said good one. That's hilarious. Great minds think alike. Blaney's really been moving up through the pack. 29.7 right now. I mean, that's good enough to be running up here. Watch out for Blaney. And Joey just has... I mean, it's probably just the Ford program being down right now. But even Cendric is up here in 13th. And that's happened a lot this year. Ryan Blaney up in the top 5. Cendric fighting to stay in the top 10. And then Joey back there in the mid-20s. Has the switch flipped? Then he's been talking about the switch. When drivers reach a certain age, the switch flips. 29.8's not bad. Let's not pretend like it's, you know, terrible, but he has a lot of work to do. Brad is having a rough day. I feel like they tried something different on his car, and it just did not go well. You look at Buescher up here. I don't think Buscher's just that much better than Brad. He's 15th, and then way back here, Brad. SVG 30th. So SVG, you know, a lot of people were bracing for impact this season, saying, oh, he's going to get better at ovals, and it looked like he might. He had some decent runs towards the beginning of the year, but that has stopped. And right now he's getting close to the point where it's like, do we panic? Because if he loses any more points, even with the road courses coming up, he's going to have a hard time pointing his way back in. Like, next week he might point his way into the chase. And then over the next 5 weeks, he drops back out. So it's going to be back and forth for SVG to see if he can make it into the postseason. So Bell pit really early, way ahead of these guys, and he grabbed the lead. Busch 1.4 back. Running close to our leader's lap time. At least he did that last time by. He ate too many King's Hawaiian rolls. It's good stuff. Blaney's just good. If Blaney's crew was better and his strategy was better, his team was better, you know, maybe if he didn't drive for Ford, or maybe if he ran for like RFK instead. Let's just say, screw it, put him in the 9 car. If Ryan Blaney was in a better car, wherever it is, doesn't matter, he would probably be a 3-time champion right now. And the reason I say that is because of his level of skill in this Gen 7 car is way above everyone else in terms of passing. He's the best passer in the field. And his team gives up like the most the most positions on pit road during pit stops. So yeah, just watch the restart positions gained. Blaney leads that by a huge margin. And then just overall green flag passes in the Gen 7 era, Blaney leads that by a huge margin. And guys that are really good, like Byron, like Larson, they struggle with that because their crews are usually getting them out pretty fast, and they're usually starting pretty high up in the running order, so they don't fall back as much, but they also don't gain as much. So they like have barely above double digits on some of those stat lines, and Blaney's almost at 100. It's ridiculous. Yeah, sliders with the King's Hawaiian. That's good stuff. He's just so good. I mean, to come up through the field like he has, this is a hard track to pass at. But like we were saying, Blaney is the best driver in the field at passing in this car. He can just get it done. And he is. Wow. I'm just keeping an eye on Joey. Yeah, he's back here. He should be running better week in and week out. I just want to see if through the course of the race they can pick it up. I'm not going to rule Joey out completely yet, but I need to see more. Busch falling off a bit, 1.7 going into this commercial break. Potentially when Bell and Denny get close to each other, that might bring Briscoe into the equation. If those three get to racing, that could also bring Kyle Busch into it. All right, Bell's about to put SVG a lap down. Let's get our lap down victims here. Brad's got to run. He's got to run because it's less than a second between Brad and John Hunter. So if Brad goes down a lap, he's going to have to try to cling on to the leaders to get back by John Hunter, probably Todd Gilliland. You may even lap Michael McDowell before this stage is over. It's a long way to go. All right, SVG's gone down a lap. SVG did break up the pack towards the front. Bell has a bit of a gap now back to Denny. We'll see that interval grow probably on that last lap. Denny drove it in really hard to one, though, to get by SVG. Did make the pass. All right, Brad Keselowski, Mr. King's Hawaiian. My mouth is so dry. Mr. King's Hawaiian. About to go down a lap. Only 3/10 away from Todd. If he can just get there to stall a bit longer. And then Todd's almost with John Hunter, so he can get 2. And then he's close. I mean, he just needs to push. I really don't want Brad to go down a lap here. Let's check back towards the front. Busch falling off another second. He's going to lose a spot here. That car has hit a wall. Not literally. Hopefully not literally. 30.5. Running 30 flats behind him. 31, 30 flat. Below 30. 30 flat, pretty much. 30.2. Interesting. I have to imagine Kyle Busch got tight behind another car. Yeah, lap time came down a little bit. He's backing up to Ty Gibbs right now. I just want to say, Ty Gibbs driving the 54 makes no sense. That's not Ty Gibbs' number. The only reason 54 is associated with Joe Gibbs Racing is Kyle Busch. And that's pretty much the guy he replaced. So he took his car and took his number. 18 is the flagship Joe Gibbs number. They should be running the 18. Really weird choice to go with the 54. Stacy's watching the Jurassic Park version of the race today. She has a dinosaur collection set up in front of her Chromebook. That's interesting. 20 dinosaur squishies. They're squishy? That changes things. That changes the equation a bit. Jordan says, do we see a host of our... Whoa, our leader around into the wall hard. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, the leader just got taken out by Todd Gilliland. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Bell. Oh, the tire's coming apart. Oh, he's done. Oh, that hurts. Bell from the leader. He's gonna lose this. Let's look back and see what's going on back here. So Brad may have stayed on the lead lap there. Brad maybe got a break there. He did. Brad just gets by the spinning car. Oh my goodness. That's oval racing. That's oval racing. Man. We see a lot of near misses with the leaders or people running up front, and this time Bell was the one. Bell almost saved it too. Another few feet and he has it. That is wild. So what are we looking like? 69 laps. We're closing in on the end of the stage. Do you flip the stage? Let's put out a poll. All right, asking if you guys flip the stage. The poll is live. Looks like most of the front runners agree. Pretty much the top 20 are all coming down to flip the stage. So 100% yes. So my next question. Let's see who stays out first before I pose it or post another poll. If a fair amount of guys stayed out, what we're going to do is we're going to ask, will a guy on old tires... Ooh, Posevar taking 2 tires. Priest taking 2 tires. We're going to restart probably with 4 or 5 laps to go. Maybe less. So it's going to be a short run to the finish. So is it worth taking new tires again? Like, is Hocevar about to come back down in 9 laps? Flip the stage. That's where you come in towards the end of the stage, right before pits close. Or in this case, on this caution. And you may fall back because you're coming down and pitting. So you're going to fall down the running order potentially. But then when the stage break comes out, this is about flipping the stage, you jump back ahead of everyone because you don't need to pit. So that's flipping the stage. But because that caution came out with like 10 to go in the stage, or near 10 to go in the stage, they should just cancel the stage break. That would, if they're worried about shortening the races, NASCAR's brought it up several times. We want to shorten the races. Does the modern attention span allow for a 4-hour race? Well, you could shorten the race quite a bit if you got rid of these stage breaks. I need some water. My tongue keeps sticking to the roof of my mouth. I'm gonna go get some water. That's exactly what it is, Jason. I would have one right now. I would. But I did not put one in the fridge. Not in time. I could have thrown one in the freezer, but it still would have been a while before I could drink it. Glenn's your favorite road course? Mine as well. Next week might be a good week to take off and just watch the race by myself or potentially on Discord. The Glenn streams, or not just Glenn streams, but road course streams don't do well, and views have been down for us lately anyway. Not much we can do about that. You guys are here and supporting. It's just, I have a theory as to why this is happening, but I don't want to talk about it here. I can go into it in the Discord. It's just, it's weird the drop-off correlates to or coincides with a specific person showing up in the chat. Coda's, it's a nice facility. I'll say that about it. That was an awesome little road course. The one at Indianapolis. And I'm sure you guys remember the race where the curb came apart. And then, like, it just, the field exploded. It was wild. Let's see, I guarantee we have the replay up now. All right, here we go. We have a replay of our last caution period. Unfortunate. Coming to the stage end. Trying to get there. Brad just sneaking by. Gonna stay on the lead lap here. They backed it way down. All right, we're back green flag racing. Road America was very popular with the fans. All right. I didn't get the poll up in time to ask if someone on old tires can get the lead, but Byron was trying to make a move there to the inside. He's not going to have the momentum off the corner. Gibbs just kind of stacked up the inside line here. That's going to stack everyone up behind him. So Byron able to clear Hamlin here. So Byron up through our running order into our top 10. I think Gibbs is our highest running car with 4 tires. So in the actual running order of guys on 4 tires, William Byron is in 4th right now. Hocevar on 2 tires going for the stage win. But he's almost a second behind Eric Jones, who I don't think took tires at all. Messaged me on Discord. All right. Check that here in a second. All right, Kyle Busch doing what he can to hold on here. Chastain kind of split up this group here. 3 wide for 8th place. Chase Elliott's going to get the best of both of them. Byron needs to watch the inside, not let Hamlin take him 3 wide here. Chase Elliott moving up through the running order. Eric Jones wins stage 1. Who had that on their bingo card? Busch taking 6th place. How about that? I'm writing my notes real quick. Bell short pits starting the cycle of stops. Bell gets lead during cycle. All right, who's going to be our free pass recipient? Should be the guy that was behind Brad. Looks like a lot of cars took the wave around there. That was a good decision. Very good decision. So maybe Cody Ware, possibly. Could also be Todd Gilliland. I'm not sure who got the wave around there. Bell, our first car out of the race. If Chad Benjamin can just get back out onto the track, they can gain another spot. They can beat a Joe Gibbs car. He's in the garage right now. Bell is out of the race. Wow, Bell out of the race. That's wild. Our first victim of today. Speaking of Watkins Glen, Riumi Brothers now looking at third driver because Frankie Muniz can't race because of a scheduling conflict with GT4 stuff. Wow. That's interesting that he's going with GT over his full-time season. Or Kyle Busch, but it's not like he's competing for points, so, you know. Or Kyle Busch Cheddar's t-shirt to work yesterday, got a lot of compliments on it. That's awesome. It always feels good. As a man, you know, it's not often, not as often as women at least, that we receive compliments. You know, women are very complimentive of each other, even if they don't mean it. I like your shirt, I like your earrings, blah, blah, blah. Guys don't really do that with each other, and it doesn't really matter, you know, if a guy would like compliment you, but especially if a lady, just whoever, just like, I like your shirt. It stays with us because that happens so rarely. That's not bad. Third in GT points. I wouldn't doubt he feels like he just has a better shot to succeed. And maybe he pivots and goes road racing full time. Who knows? Well, let's see. What was I going to search? Lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was trying to look for. So this is why Bell's out of the race. Pull this up. Not good. Ton of right front damage. Probably some steering there, but he's out of the race completely. So it's something they didn't feel like they could repair on pit road and not even get back in the race. They're just done with the day. Jones down, Stenhouse, Chastain, Allmendinger. Suarez on pit road. I heard Gragson, maybe Zillage. Gilliland's down. Let's see him with the damage. Oh! Gilliland pulling into his box right ahead of Suarez. Larson's on pit road. I think, is that Blaney also on pit road? So we have a few big names on there, as well as guys that were running further back. So a weird mix right now. You have Hendrick. Bowen fell back quite a bit there. 15th. Priest is coming up through the field. They usually run close to each other. Good tribute to Alex Zanardi there on the broadcast. So Blaney and Larson, we'll see how this shuffles out once they get back out on track from their pit cycle. Right now, this doesn't look great. Blaney's run through the field already. Not too concerned about him yet. Joey's just not moving forward. If Blaney's able to pass his way back up into the top 15 and Joey's not able to move forward as well, then I'm a bit worried. Heim's having a decent enough race for a part-time car, part-time driver. This is a look at our updated running order. So Hocevar staying out here on 2 old tires. He only took 2 under the last pit cycle. So first car on fresh tires, Ty Gibbs, Chase Briscoe. We've seen how fast these Toyotas are. Kyle Busch, he's trying. He's trying, but he's able to run better lap times for a bit, but then his car just falls off towards the end of the run pretty hard. He starts sliding down the running order. So we'll see if he can hold on. Maybe they adjusted on it on that last stop. SVG really benefited from that caution cycle there. Shuffled forward quite a ways, if that's accurate. Yeah, my dad was a big fan of Zanardi, or just really impressed by what he could do. I remember riding in the car with my dad and him telling me about Zanardi. I didn't know who he was. It was when I was really young. And he was like, yeah, he got in a really bad wreck and he lost the use of his legs, but now he's driving again. I was thinking, how is that possible? When you can't move your legs, like, how are you making the car work? And you know, then he broke it down for me about what they've done to get him back in the car, but really impressive stuff. It's a shame he left us so soon. You know, 59's not young per se, but it's also just not when you expect to see someone go. So that's rough. McDowell's just not having a great day. He didn't qualify well. He's not too far off from where he qualified, but his teammate qualified on the pole. Suarez qualified second. They had really good short run speed. Cars were definitely trimmed out well for qualifying. And McDowell, I think he qualified like 20th, 21st. It was not great in comparison. What I look for often on the leaderboard is how close are teammates. I want to see how organizations are running as a whole. Reddick and Heim, Bubba all together. And that shows me they're on a pretty similar strategy, pretty similar running cars right now. 2 Gibbs guys up here. We've seen Denny up here. Bell was up there, so the JGR guys are really strong. One thing that also sticks out to me, Busch up here, 4th. And then Dillon's down here. So did they give Austin Dillon the Kyle Busch car this week? That's what it seems like. That's exactly what it seems like. There's no way that just 1 week after switching crew chiefs, he's suddenly running top 5 again. Larson complaining with a tight race car. It's about the opposite of what he would like. See if Brad can stand the lead lap. He barely made it this last time by. So all of the cars that are still competing are on the lead lap. Chad Bencham, our only guy that's off the track. No idea if he's coming back or not. We'll have to see. If they can come back out and make, what, 12 laps? He'll pass Bell. That's got to be worth a few thousand dollars. Like, come on. Get out there. The Laguna Seca corkscrew is wild. Like, you have a chicane, then you have a hard left-hander, hard right-hander down a massive decline, and then another hard left-hander. Wild. All right, Hocevar leading them off on the inside. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold off Ty Gibbs here on those 4 fresh tires. And Briscoe, he could have helped his teammate there, but he didn't. He looks like he thought about making it 3 wide. Didn't force the issue. Backed out of it. Elliott's gotten by Busch. Move Chase Elliott to 4th. Busch back to 5th. Hocevar's digging as hard as he can on the inside. Ty Gibbs about to clear. Hocevar going to pull him back with a little side draft. And Hocevar back to the lead. Oop, he's going to wash up the track a bit. That's going to affect Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs missed the corner. So Ty Gibbs going to drop back to 3rd here. May lose 3rd position as well. Chase might be able to get him here. Not quite. He wasn't able to make the pass. They're too wide further back. So Busch on the inside, Buescher on the outside. Couple rows of 2 wide. Byron also on the outside of Hamlin, trying to move up through the running order. Joey up here. Let's just keep an eye on Joey. Oh my goodness. Doesn't look like there's any damage. Just talking about William Byron. Caution is out. William Byron around. Did he lose it on his own? Oh, looks like he's already sideways. He just lost it. He got close to getting cleared out here, too. My goodness. Joey almost piled in there. They all stay clean. So that tells me these guys, and Byron especially, from what we just saw, are running the car really low to the ground, you know, obviously, and with stiff springs, because it seems like when he went over the bump, there was not enough give, and so he maybe bottomed out. A lot of times when the splitter will hit the track, that really upsets the car. Just came on around. We've heard a lot of talk about the bump throughout the weekend. They've shown it on TV. I think Jeff Gluck walked over to it on track and took a picture, and he's like, this is where the bump should be, but like, I don't see it. So it's not like a huge bump perceptible to the eye. It's hard to see. But the drivers apparently can feel it. I don't have the juice in me anymore to cut a promo. Last year, maybe I could have. What happened to Joey? Oh my goodness. Wow. Joey Logano clobbers Cole Custer on pit road. Okay. Things definitely took a wild turn here. It was a very clean first, like 80% of stage one. Then we had a caution, stage break, now another caution, and now under caution on pit road, we have another accident. We have another angle of the Bell incident. That's rough. That's pretty much what happened to Byron, but different end of the track. Let's make sure that I have these bookmarked. Trying to get those in the right order. I'm gonna take off my headset so I can hear myself speak a bit better. I don't follow Hillary. I'll throw Hillary a bone. I tried to get her to run for president during the last election. I tried to bait her into it. I was like, Hillary, you know, we could really Pokemon go to the polls if you just run again. Former First Lady, also senator out of New York. I think she was also, what was she? She was in the cabinet, on Obama's cabinet. Secretary of State? Let's do some research on Hillary Clinton. She's the 11th Chancellor of Queen's University, Belfast. She was Secretary of State and Senator from New York. First Lady of the United States, First Lady of Arkansas. What a run she had. Oh, I deleted the leaderboard. Joey barely missed Byron. That was, yeah. That's an excellent point, King Mako. Why the black screen? It just happened. That was not intentional. I don't have enough monitors. I think the future setup, probably the next time I move, if we even continue streaming, I'm not sure, you know, how long we're gonna do this. At this rate, but yeah, I would like at least one more so I can really spread things out. I could also do 2 widescreen monitors and just have it that way. That would probably be a better way to do it, probably easier on my system. And Joey's had a rough go of it. I was really paying attention to him throughout the race. Yeah, Joey's getting towed behind the wall on pit road. Barely dodges getting into Byron. So let's say Byron's day. But Logano could not save himself. Just drove all over Cole Custer. And this also may hurt Byron later in the race if he doesn't have an extra set. So they're going to have to figure out that strategy and take their medicine at some point. McDowell just working his way forward. We'll see if that holds. So Corey Heim in the lead here. So Heim is clear. I think Zane Smith is clear. Well, now Keselowski's gotten by, so Suarez to the inside of Zane Smith. See how this goes. If we get another caution here within the next 10 to 20 laps, this could really work in the favor of Brad Keselowski. Could completely turn his day around. It's a gamble. Not a bad one. Heim up in the lead. In the future, we might see a lot more of this once Heim goes full time. Let me see what I can do. Caution, Ty Gibbs. So while we're under this caution period, I can't really do this. Now I'll just continue what I'm doing. I was going to pull up a replay, but I need to do this first. All right, let's see what replays we have now. They didn't even post a replay of Byron spinning. They just didn't post one. So Larson ran all over Briscoe. Briscoe had to back out of his pit box. Wow, a lot happened there. I'll show you guys this replay. So this is the pit road calamity that happened a bit earlier. Larson pulling into his box as Briscoe was trying to pull out. They get together a little bit there. Not much damage. Briscoe got held back. Custer goes to brake for Ty Gibbs leaving his box. And Joey gets race-ending damage here. He's done. Behind the wall, Cole Custer, quite a bit of damage to that car. Thankfully, no pit crew members were harmed here. Man, dangerous place to be. I saw the New Day left. I saw that. They've had a lot of people leave lately. A lot of people cut, and I think they just left. Probably a contract dispute. Wow, King is Dead gifted 2 Sparkle Jewels. No idea what a Sparkle Jewel is. I have to look into that more. I also need to send my daily picture to King. And then... YouTube, I've been checking the Switching Grooves channel to see if I see you pop up. But it's good to know. May 12th. May 12th. Very nice. I'll be watching. I'll be watching for sure. Let's see exactly what happened here. I'm going to pull open this replay as well. This is what just happened to Ty Gibbs. We're about to go back green, by the way. We're going to go ahead and let this replay run. That is a really weird spot, yeah. Oh, yeah. Looks like he had a little help there. Heim out to the lead again. Brad's going to try to hold off Suarez here. Suarez trying to dive to the inside. Brad's just going to give up the position here. Chase Elliott top 5 right now. Kyle Busch dropped back to 12th after running so well earlier in the race. Three wide. Bubba Wallace inside. Hocevar was middle. Denny high side. They figured that out pretty quickly. Bowman trying to break back into the top 20. This field has gotten really shuffled up with the different strategies everyone's on. Jones thought he was clear there. Almost spun off the nose of Bowman. That was close. They corrected. I don't even know if they made contact, but that was close. That would be a wild thing to do, Jason. I considered doing that last week. Just bald, slick. The hair, that's where our power is. That's the source of our power. All right, Heim has our Xfinity fastest lap. I don't know if it's sponsored by Xfinity still, but he has the fastest lap. Heim is moving. Yeah. Mr. Clean Air, Corey Heim. It would be wild if he won the race. I'd be okay with it. Broadcast cutting out a little bit. Ty Gibbs to the garage. Just announced that on the broadcast. The Gibbs guy started out so promising today, and then just had things go very south for them. Still no replay up of Byron's incident. The Heimlich. We may need to workshop that one a bit. Fincham out there just having fun. Let's see. Did he get back out on track? He did. So Fincham is going to get by Bell here, and he may potentially clear Custer. And if he stays out on track, he could also pick off Joey Logano and Ty Gibbs. Chad Fincham getting it done, baby. Hey, they come from behind. And boy, is he behind. Austin Dillon struggling. Austin Dillon has the Kyle Busch car. That's what they did. They gave Kyle Busch Austin's car. And they gave Austin Kyle's car. And now we have Austin back in 30th. And Kyle Busch up here in 13th. That's identical to how they run any given week, but in reverse order. RCR has been giving Austin Dillon the good stuff. They've been giving Kyle Busch the bad stuff, and it didn't work. Riley Hurst running the free nicotine pouch scheme for the first time, I believe. They also sponsor some of the cars in the lower series. I don't know if it was an ARCA car I saw them on, but I saw them on a different car. Yeah, I don't think Chad's going to come from behind like that. Bowman moving up a bit. Hocevar on the slide. And Brad on old tires, making it work right now. And lap times are, even on older tires, somewhat faster than they were earlier in the race. Seems like these guys are really getting a handle on the track. Chase Elliott P2 right now. Not bad. About 2 seconds back. We'll keep an eye on that interval. Busch dropping back. He had to work his way back up, but he's kind of stalled out here. Running really close to Denny a lot throughout this race. They were, up here in the top 5. Now they're back here just outside the top 10. Be fun to see those two get together. Byron trying to pass his way back through the field. They by AJ there. So move William Byron up to just outside the top 20. Byron on the prowl. He may be back in the top 20 now. He is. Yeah, 20th position. William Byron. Larson back here, 26th. Just a terrible day for Larson. They missed the setup on that one. That gap's pretty stable, 2 seconds or 2.1 with Chase and Heim. So the gap's not coming down quickly, but we may start seeing some stops here in the next 10 to 15 laps. I'm not sure how many caution laps we ran, but Bell short pit, I think on lap 34, 36, somewhere in there on the first stage. And even with the caution laps, we are getting close to that. Bowman trying to get by Hocevar and Briscoe here. Briscoe is just falling off a cliff. He had such a good start to the day. Yeah, that right front's a little bent in. Brad's still holding. That's really impressive. Brad, Ricky up here. If this is how they run for the rest of this, I guess, pit cycle, then Brad is going to be the big gainer here. Brad's trying to get by Daniel for third. Brad will clear into turn one. And where's Priest? Got a little work to do. Catch up to his teammates. Blaney 23rd, Kyle Larson 24th. Further back than we are used to seeing them run. That's for sure. Byron has about a half a second to catch up to Jones. Bowman's close to these three. Seems like they have also lost the handle on the car compared to the start of the race. Jason says he hopes that Kyle Busch takes out Denny and Riley. A twofer. Well, he's in position to take out Riley. Denny's actually moved through the field and left Kyle. So that's the difference between a decent enough car and a potential race winning car. Track position is so valuable today. Guys have been able to pass, but it is hard. And Corey's out there on older tires. Brad's out there on older tires. Ricky might also be not that much older, but they are. And they've been able to hold pretty well. Probably John Hunter as well. Zane Smith was up there. I believe in second at one point, and he's fallen back only to 12th. That's not too bad. Hamlin to 6th, getting by Stenhouse. Man, Buescher has not been able to get by Suarez. Brad passed him several laps ago. All right, Buescher to the inside. They're not going to be able to clear here on exit. They're going to be side by side, and Suarez will have the momentum, but Buescher can side draft a bit here, pull him back. Buescher will have the advantage into 3 and get the pass made. All right, Todd Gilliland not meeting minimum speed, coming down pit road right now. Time's 2 to 3 miles per hour faster than anyone else in the field right now. I don't like when they use the mile per hour. Just show me either the lap times or the intervals. Like, it's okay to see miles per hour every once in a while, but intervals are the main thing I want to see. And thankfully, on our leaderboard, we have the lap time and the interval, so that works out pretty well. Indy 800. That's wild. IRP is a fun little track. I miss when the O'Reilly series would go to IRP instead of the big track. All right, Blaney moving up a bit. Let's see how much. So Blaney trying to crawl back in the top 20. Briscoe just continues to slide. SVG, not too bad. 17th. Better than he was earlier in the race. Zane Smith down another spot, down to 13th. Kyle Busch got by. Kyle may try to go work on Bubba now, and Riley's gotten by Bubba. And they're both approaching John Hunter. We'll see how that goes. Riley tried to close in there, was not able to make a move. They currently actually have the camera on that battle. Ryan Blaney now scored in the top 20. He's running a 32. William Byron's also a 32. Chase Elliott, fastest lap on the track right now, 29.95. And the gap has come down from 2 seconds. Not much, but it has come down. Host of our commercial here. Cletus in the commercial. They're trying to ride this host of our wave. I think a lot of people saw the same thing I did last week. And what we've been seeing since last year. We brought at least trucks and ARCA back to smaller tracks. Like ARCA East would do fantastic at Jennerstown. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people share similar comments. It should be a special event, or more special, when the trucks are at the track the weekend of a cup race. And they could pack out the stands at a lot of these smaller tracks. It's just the thing they would have to worry about is really anytime NASCAR nowadays goes to a smaller facility, even the truck series, they have to dump a ton of money into the track to add in safer barriers if they don't already have it, and add in other utilities. And you got to worry about, internet access, all this different stuff. Wish we brought at least trucks and ARCA back to... Yeah, I already read that one. 72 laps since last pit for Heim now. Doing it pretty well right now. See, I don't need to see live mile-per-hour updates that they're doing here. This is irrelevant because the drivers are in different parts of the track. Heim ran below a 29 or below a 30 that time. At intervals, it's just back and forth, back and forth. But Elliott and Heim seem to be class of the field at the moment. Hamlin's close, running a 31-1. Reddick's also fast. All this for a Reddick win. Get ready, get ready, guys. Just get ready. Are they going to try to run it to the end of this stage? It looks like maybe we're setting up for late pit stops. I mean, we may see guys flip the stage again. But clean air is king. Gap has really fallen off for Chase. He's safe back to third. Almost a 5-second gap back to Brad. Yeah, I doubt attendance is great at our local track. All right. Pit crew's getting ready. Little movement there on pit road. Helmets are on. So Heim will need to pit here shortly. So will Zane Smith. Byron has a bit extra fuel in the tank. He might be able to run long and get the stage win potentially if the rest of the field has to pit. We'll just see what happens. I went to a rodeo at the fairgrounds maybe in 2012. Yeah, I think it was 2012. It was an old building, really old building. But they put on a good show. All right. We're probably about to see Corey Heim dip down pit road any second now. Bowman's making a move to the inside of Cindric to move Bowman to 14th place. Heim's about to put Briscoe a lap down here. Heim could do him a favor and dip off to pit now. And that would leave almost a 4-second gap between Briscoe and Elliott. So that could potentially save him. Heim's not coming down this time. Didn't get low. What's the purse for today? They have not released the purse information, but the 2025 purse was $11 million, and the 2026 purse was 11.25 million, about 20,000 less. But this one might be about 11 and a half. So this race has withheld the person, but we'll find out after the race, though. I did not watch the Arca East race. I was watching a bit of the high limit race at Texas. Kyle Larson hopped out of the O'Reilly car, went over there and hopped in his sprint car, and laid down the fastest lap. Only took him one try. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Corey Heim on pit road. Has Zane Smith hit pit road? They were on a similar strategy. Is the 38 back here already? Yeah. So Zane's probably already hit pit road. Chase is closing in on Briscoe. It's just a matter of time right now. Stenhouse, good run, 6th place right now. Reddick's moving up the running order. Partially because of pit cycles, but also he's just been working his way up today. So just keep an eye on that. We know they have a good 1.5 package. Herbst is running 8th, so those Toyotas have something the rest of the field doesn't. You can't tell me a guy who struggled to finish top 30 all season last year suddenly found a ton of speed. You're not telling me he's a better driver than Kyle Busch. You know, guys behind him, William Byron, Ryan Preece, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson. You're not telling me that. If Riley was still performing poorly, then I would buy more into the theory that Tyler Reddick is just the best driver right now. That's how it goes, Christian. That's how it goes. It seems like the Gibbs guys, a lot of them underperform, but yet they just work their way up on the ladder. If you're one of Toyota's chosen drivers, they're just going to support you, you know, to the end. Don't see that as much with the JRM kind of Hendrick ladder. If you're good, you might end up with a Toyota team or a Ford team. You're probably not going to end up at Hendrick because their cars are all full right now. Best we can do is Spire. It's kind of how they shuffle their drivers. I think the last JRM guy to make it to Hendrick was Byron. Seven laps to go. Kyle Busch doing what he can to get this one stage point. He's got about 2 seconds back to Bubba. He's got to hold on. Caution. Kyle Larson. Huge damage to the left rear. Whole left side, really. Jeff Gordon doesn't look too happy. Jeff Gordon's going to have a stroke. I know he's ticked off that his cars aren't winning every single week. You're in Hendrick equipment. Do better. Do better. Larson obviously knows how to drive well here at Texas. We saw what he could do yesterday. And today, they just missed the setup. he's having to ride the inside wall, that car's done. Brother, just park it. Just park it, Kyle. Just park it, buddy. I don't know if they'll go to a fourth car again. If the money was there, if Reeves brought a ton of money, then maybe they would consider it. But most teams seem really hesitant to expand right now, especially in the lower series. Never know. Oh, okay. Thought he was clear from SVG. Little contact there. Yeah. Or at least 4 teams and 1 part-time. I was a big fan of that. Thought that was really cool. If you had a 4-car team, you could prepare your new driver who you may have coming in the next year by having them run like 5 races or something. That was a fun little rule we had for a while. All right, Chase is going to get off of pit road first. Denny second. That Busher third. Reddick fourth. Suarez down a spot. Herbst up a spot. Stenhouse down 2 spots. Hocevar up 3. Bowman up 3. And Busch down 1. All right. Who's going to stay out here? Heim? Heim's going to stay out, I would guess. All right, Brad's going to make a play here for stage points. Let's see if it works out. I thought that was last year. I just misread. Oh, yeah. I thought they were showing the last 2 years. It's weird they list the 2025 purse alongside the 26. So I thought they were listing the last 2 years. J-Ski's the website. You can find that directly pretty much every week. Pop-Tarts ice cream sandwiches. I have not. What a doll. Let's see what's going on here. Car just came around there. Real sudden. That wasn't like he lost it. I guess, yeah. See the back end kind of chase up the track. Not able to save it. It just came around so fast. We'll show that replay during the stage break. I doubt it. Denny doesn't usually go out of his way to pay back grudges. He may drive like a little too aggressive at times, but he's not a dirty driver. All right, Chase Elliott to the lead. Brad is suffering here. He's going to try to hold on for some stage points. He will beat Hamlin to the line. Brad Keselowski. They have him scored fourth. I thought he beat Hamlin to the line. They got some stage points, though. Brad's right near that cut line, so he really needed these stage points. Chase Elliott takes stage 2. What lap did that caution come out? Maybe lap 160. Hello, Trisha. If you can hear us. All right, here's a little look at what just happened with Larson, what brought out the caution before the stage break. Rear end just kind of jumps out on him there. And he almost has it, but it's like the car just couldn't be saved. Backs it into the wall there. Was on board with AJ Allmendinger. They are emptying the dumpster outside, and it is upsetting my dog. It is really loud. I think that's what they're doing. It sounds like someone's dropping a water heater down like 10 flights of stairs. Christian says, sadly, heading into the summer stretch of the season, I think the points fight is going to be between Cindric, Logano, and SVG for the final chase spot. I think Logano might be the odd man out. They've got to turn it around, and the whole field has to catch up to the Toyotas. Now, on any given week, you might have a couple guys up there running in the lead. They may lead a lot of laps, but it's just a couple. Maybe one from each manufacturer, maybe, you know, 2 Chevys, a Ford. The Toyotas just have the field beat right now. 2311 JGR. Riley Herbst, if he's running, you know, in contention for a top 10, that is a clear sign to me they know something else the field doesn't. Oh, you have it going on the TV? I do that too. I watch streams on the TV and then I type in chat on my phone. Even so, it's Logano's year to lose. If he doesn't do it, he breaks the even year chase playoff streak. Oh, does the rule still stand because the playoffs are done? Good to see you, Dr. Derp. Dr. Derp's another YouTuber I recommend following. Good guy, entertaining streams, and he does a lot of NASCAR stuff, a lot of racing stuff, but he also does other kinds of games. Similar to how I'll, you know, randomly play a Backrooms game or Doom or something, you know, something different. And definitely since I've like stopped streaming as much, if you're in need of a live stream to watch, Dr. Derp's live all throughout the week. Hey, we're hanging in there, Dr. Derp. I just know, I immediately noticed after last NASCAR season ended, views just dropped off. And it's like the YouTube algorithm shifted to just not recommending NASCAR content as much. I mean, I'm not sure. But these live streams, we used to have 140 people concurrent. And the ARCA race earlier this year, I mean, it peaked at almost 1,500 concurrent. But then, you know, especially cup races, just the views are way down on our stream. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Just got to try to figure that out. It might be a good thing. Might be a good thing that the community's staying about this size, because the more people you bring in, the more rude people you get, the more people you get typing crazy things in chat. We saw a bit of that during that ARCA race with 1,500 people in here. Oh yeah, Yeah, let me get that plaque. 100,000. That's a lot. We gained 10,000 pretty quickly, but the last 2,000 have gone really slow. Yeah, I've just been extra busy lately, and that's not going to slow down. So, like, I just can't keep the same pace that I had last year. We've tried in the last couple weeks to stream a bit more and to be a bit more active on YouTube, but not as much as last year. Last year, we were grinding it out. I just have to focus on my studies. I don't even know if we're going to stream next week for the Glen race. Maybe we do still. Maybe we just do a post race, but views on the road course races are about where this race is, honestly. My goodness. We're just down. Didn't really change much with my tags. The thumbnail design's still very similar to what it's always been. I'm at a loss for why the stream's not getting pushed like it used to. I have a theory. All right, coming to the restart. Chase Elliott will lead them off in that inside line. Not really a push there. Hamlin not really helping Chase. And Suarez gave Reddick a huge push. I would remember that if I'm Chase. You know, then he's trying to help out his driver, obviously, and playing little games on the restarts. Nothing wrong with that, but you just got to file that one away. You know, if I'm in a position later to help Hamlin, I'm going to take him 3 wide or not give him a push. Hey, that's awesome. A race car is a race car. I would love to run a 2000 Honda Civic at our local quarter mile, but you have to make so many safety modifications to race there. I just don't have the ability to do it right now. If I had a garage, I could. But you have to strip the interior out. You have to put in, like, support beams. Yeah, you have to strip out the stock chairs, put in racing seats. It's a lot. Yeah, next weekend might be a good weekend to take off, and I can just focus on my studies and just enjoy the race on the couch for once. Bowman back in the top 10. Byron's fought his way back forward. Still got to watch out about that tire deficit they might have. I'm a bit worried about that. Busch fighting against Chastain here. So no right rear grip for Kyle Busch. Not sure if that just affects his restarts, but it may also be on corner exit. He's going to lose that position to Chastain. They were side by side. Kyle Busch back to 12th. We'll see what they can do over the course of the run. Kyle Busch has held on decent speed for a while. Sometimes a few laps in, you'll see him actually start to turn some decent lap times compared to the guys around him. But I don't know if they fixed the long run speed in that car yet. Larson back here, 20 laps down off the track right now. And Chad Fincham picking them off one by one. At this rate, he might get a top 20. Chase is not driving away from Reddick. It's close. I called it out. Before this last stage, I called it out. Reddick's moving up. And here he is. Suarez is still top 5. That's really impressive. A lot of speed in that 7 today. And Hocevar's top 10 still. Bowman moving up towards the top 5. Next weekend, Mother's Day. Mother's Day is the 10th. So yeah, I guess that would be. That's probably a good idea, Stacy. I would say that's a really good idea. Yeah, I'm with you, Dr. Derp. I am right there with you. Elliott's still not pulling away. Kind of afraid what would happen if Reddick got the lead here. Clean air is huge. I mean, he can take a car that would be 20th place and keep it in the lead for several laps. $84 laps to go in the race. Just want to point a couple guys out. Priest and Keselowski stayed out for stage points. They have a long way to go. A lot of ground to make up. At what point do you just try to short pit to get fresh tires? You will lose a ton of time. But if it worked out the right way, let's say you short pit, you gain a ton of time. The rest of the field comes down. I don't know. That doesn't work out. Man. Well, let's run another poll. Will a Toyota win? Starting the poll. My pit with 40 to go. That's a pretty good number to hit. There's not a crazy amount of fall off with these tires, but handling is such a premium, it seems, at this track. And the speeds have picked up quite a bit. Seems like earlier in the race, the tires were wearing maybe a little faster. And so you saw guys immediately drop to like 30 seconds. And these guys are running mid-29s right now, several laps into this run. Kyle Busch moving on up, getting by William Byron. Okay. Kyle Busch back in the top 10. He may go back-to-back on top 10s. Everything just holds even for him. Chastain's also gotten by both of them, so moving up pretty well. It's about a 1.5 second gap between Chastain and Hocevar, so that'll be a while before we see another pass there. And Byron's got about a 0.5 second over Bubba, so he has a little room to stabilize, but he has to get it back underway here. How's Heim doing? 23rd. Priest and Brad, 22nd, 21st. Just keep an eye on that. 30s, 30 flats basically compared to a 31. I mean, barely slower. Dylan, 29.9. 29.8. Blaney. So we have some up and down speeds back here in the pack. And these lap times are so close for much of the field. Bowman was about a half second off the pace of Buescher that last lap. 29.6 compared to a 29.5. Reddick's keeping it really close. Those two seem to have an advantage over Denny, but Denny excels in the long runs. So we'll see what happens. And Denny could potentially short pit and grab the lead like Bell did in stage 1. We just haven't seen a ton of fall off here on the tires yet. All right, we'll see you, Dr. Derp. I am in complete agreement, Christian. 67% of people, so I'm guessing, well, we get 3 votes in the poll. 67% of people that responded said no, Toyota will not win today's race. Leave the poll open a bit longer. Bowman's closing in on Suarez, but Herbst is right behind both of them, so Bowman's got to get this done. Herbst is close. Running the inside really well right now. Most everyone's moved up to that second groove. Yeah, Suarez, I mean, really well. Really good job today. Spire, well, the 7 and the 77 had a ton of speed. 71, I don't know what they were doing. I have to imagine they were experimenting, and it did not play out. Where even is the 71? '30th. Your teammates are both... I've said it several times this year, but it may be time for McDowell to call it and maybe even drop back down to the O'Reilly series. I could see him contending for a championship in that series if he had good equipment. Bowman's about to make the pass on Suarez. Suarez is running him really close here. Bowman not able to get a good corner entry. This is going to benefit Suarez down the backstretch. Bowman not able to come up in side draft. That's really going to hurt his lap time here. And Suarez just pulled down the track in front of him to aero block. So it's going to be another few laps before Bowman can try again. And before that happens, Herbst may make a run at him. So it's close up towards the front. Priest has moved up a bit. Brad actually dropped some spots. I guess maybe because Heim got by him. So Larry thinks pit stops in another 10 to 15 laps. America's crew chief has spoken. Jones almost died there. That was close. Rolling Roblox, good to see you again. Yeah, if Reddick got clean air, I don't think that would be good for the field. We know Reddick's been really fast in the 1.5s this year. The Toyotas have been really fast. I think what it will come down to is what lap Reddick and Denny pit on. If they pit early, Denny comes down extra early, he may be able to jump both of them. If Reddick comes down a lap or two before, he may be able to jump Chase. So if we stay green, these final pit stops are really going to affect the outcome of the race. Kyle, 3/10 back from Ross. Ross is working on Hocevar. That might bring Kyle into the equation. So we have a little stack up here. Potentially a 3-car battle if they don't solve this soon. No one up there to help. Buscher is all by himself. The closest Ford is, what, Cindric? Buscher's good. He's good. Blaney's been fighting all day. I might be about to pass Priest. Potentially, we could potentially see that. That would really shake up the field because some of the guys further back may think they would have a shot at the top 5 if they stayed out. It worked out for Brad before that last stage. Not bad for SVG. If it hadn't been such a wild race in terms of when cautions fell, SVG would probably still be back in 30th. This seems to be like, yeah, there are some guys that can move up a few spots here and there, especially if you have a really good car. But if you don't, the best you might average is like 2 spots gained over the run. Very track position heavy race right now. Chase has pulled ahead a bit. All right, Ricky Stenhouse down pit road. Is that McDowell also? So we have a couple cars down. Busch trying to make the pass on Hocevar. Not able to clear yet. Hocevar with a ton of momentum on the high side. Busch had to chase it a bit there. That's going to slow down Hocevar and bring Byron back into the conversation. Byron may have a shot at the top 10 here. Oh, he hit the aero wake. You could see it on the camera when it hit. This car sucks so much. this car. All right, calling out for, I think, Byron to pit. Not a terrible call here. Let's see how this goes. Another car on pit road in front of him. Chastain. I like that move. That's not going to cycle them forward very far. But you may see Byron jump Hocevar and Busch here, potentially. But will they be able to hold on for 56 laps? Bowman on pit road. Kyle Busch down. Austin Dillon down, looks like. I think that's Cindric as well. Further back, Eric Jones. So the running order is going to get really shaken up here. Yes, box. I remember for the F1 movie, KFC had a box. Which is hilarious because only racing and F1 fans would get the reference. The general public, no clue. Looks like Zane Smith down, maybe. Is that Brad as well? Cars on pit road. Now they're coming down. That might be SVG. Can't tell who that is. Is that... Who is this coming down pit road? That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was Chastain serving a penalty, but I didn't want to say it. Well, Chastain really screwed the pooch there. So that's going to be an extra spot for Byron. KFC buffet, yeah. A lot of places had already cut buffets. Buffets really have fallen out of style. And I think it's because behavioral sink. The general public is not as well behaved as they were 30 years ago. And so before, where you could trust people to be clean and like not cough and sneeze right in the food, or, you know, do other weird things. Nowadays, you can't really trust people as much, which is sad, but accurate. All right, Denny Hamlin down pit road. Tyler Reddick off of pit road. Hocevar running long here. Herbst running long. Blaney, Heim, Keselowski, Briscoe, Allmendinger, all running long on this. It could potentially work out for them, depending on how long they run. If they somehow make their stop, let's say 20 laps from now, maybe they could hold on for 30. I don't know. At least with a higher finishing position or running order than they are now. All right, Herbst is down. Yeah, Ryan's. I liked Ryan's a lot. Like getting their okra. Ice cream machine for dessert. Yeah. We had a few of them here in town. I don't think I ever went to a Ponderosa. So Chastain really hurt by that. I'm I'm guessing speeding penalty, some kind of a pit road violation. Top 10 car, and he's not going to come home with even a top 20. McDowell coming. No, that's Hocevar coming down. Hocevar, 77. So that's our leader currently. No. He waved and he stayed out. Maybe that was just a wave at Ross? Weird. Keselowski on pit road. I feel like sponsoring Hocevar this early in his career is like investing in Bitcoin before it took off. Because the sky is the limit for Hocevar. And the broadcast knows it. They've been highlighting him. Hocevar's coming down. He's going to lose a ton of time here, but if we get a caution at the right moment, this could play out in his favor, but it's going to take a special set of circumstances and having clean air on a potential restart. Chase Elliott rolling the high side above Josh Berry, arcing it down through the corner. Now Blaney is our leader. When will Blaney come down? Blaney running up on Hocevar, about to lap. There he goes, lap down. And Bubba Wallace about to earn his lap back, probably. Chasing down Ryan Blaney. Just going to blow by him. Chase and Reddick pit on the same lap. They're showing Chase with a lot less fuel, which is interesting. He has a 2.5 second gap over Reddick. So if we stay green, this is a Chase Elliott home run more than likely, unless his car just falls off a cliff. Been a weird race. Probably the worst race of the weekend. I don't think it's a bad race, but probably the worst one. The truck race was really fun. The O'Reilly race was very racy towards the front. I mean, guys just passing 3 wide sideways for the lead. Some wild stuff. And even though it was a bit messy, there was quite a few wrecks. That's so long ago, I couldn't tell you. If a caution falls at the right moment, time could potentially be in a good spot. But time is running out for Hyman Briscoe. Chase Elliott is running through the field. Not going to be able to pass Gragson. Gragson held him up there. Chase looked to the inside. Noah took the inside. He had to go back to the high side. I am not sure, Jason. I'm not sure. Gragson's killing Chase right now. The gap's almost down to 2 seconds. It's almost down to a second, according to the Fox ticker. Chase has got to make this pass. And Hamlin's trying to make the pass on Reddick, getting really close. We'll see how much they hold each other up here. Just have nowhere to go at the moment. Chase cannot get by Noah. Oh my, this shows how amazing this car is. Sports Break Media says they had fun at Talladega last week, and that's good. Talladega is usually a good time to be at the track. It's probably the rowdiest and most fun crowd to be around. But at a lot of the southern tracks, you get a similar audience. The only race I've been to that had a different feeling crowd to it, a different vibe, was Circuit of the Americas. That was a very different group of people. Not as rowdy. Yeah, Gragson was doing a good job there holding Chase up. That's for sure. Bought some extra time for Hyman Briscoe. Christian said he saw an interview between Larry Mack and Brendan Queen. Larry Mack compared Butterbean to Davey Allison. That's interesting. All right, Blaney is going to get his lap back here. Now, Chase Elliott's next biggest obstacle will be Chase Briscoe. How long will Gragson hold up the trailing cars? So now he's not fighting to stay on just one lap down. He's already 2 laps down. Will he hold up the trailing cars like he did Chase? And will Briscoe hold up Chase? Will Chase hold up Chase is how I could also say that. Chase is pretty respectful, but there are 2 Toyotas trying to track down Chase Briscoe. All right, he's going to clear here to the inside of Chase Briscoe. So now he has 3 cars between himself and Tyler Reddick. All right, Heim's coming down. He may have a lap, maybe up to 3 laps, but he has to come down very soon. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the field has to work really hard to catch up to the pace of these Toyotas this year. We were saying a bit earlier, every week there's like 1 or 2 other manufacturers up here, and then everyone else is a Toyota. either Gibbs or 2311. And, two of the Gibbs guys have been taken out, Briscoe and Bell. Briscoe not completely out of it, but he's definitely in a bad way. Heim coming down pit road. Briscoe's still out. Probably going to come down here shortly. Needs to pit soon because he can't risk being stuck a lap down. And the further back he falls, the more cars he'll be behind when he gets out of the pits. Then you lose your advantage of running long in the first place. At Heim off of pit road. 27 laps to go. This feels a lot like a Denny kind of day. How many times have we seen a Hendrick guy up front lead a lot of laps just for someone to come up and take it? Denny, Logano, back in the day, Kyle Busch. Yeah. There really wasn't a lot of teamwork, and there hasn't been the last few years because of this Gen 7 car. You can't really make a huge difference. You just have to latch on to whoever's in front of you and push as hard as you can. It's just so hard to pass. Where's Quinn Houff when you need him to pit from the third lane? Kind of saw that in the truck race. Jake Garcia just pulled down in front of, I forget who it was, but just obliterated the rear end and the front end on both trucks. It was rough. All right, Chase having some a hard time here with, is that Mr. Stenhouse? Side by side. This is going to hold him up quite a bit. Chase going to wash up the track here. Might be able to get a side draft and pull Stenhouse back. This will give Chase a run into the corner. Good chance to clear here. Stenhouse running him pretty tight. Chase will clear on corner exit. Yeah, it's been good to see Bowman run better. They have a bit more to work on. And Kyle Busch as well. Good seeing him run well. And Suarez has had an amazing day. Buescher has been really fast all day as well. Just not, so like guys like Buescher, Suarez, you can kind of throw Bowman into this as well because he's up there. They have top 10 pace, but they don't quite have the pace to win. That's between three guys right now. Chase, Denny, and Tyler Reddick. They have the race-winning pace. Everyone else behind them, there's a good gap. It seems like on a lot of these longer runs, there's only about two competitive guys. Two that are within a second or two of each other, and then the rest of the field strung out 3 to 4 seconds back. And that's what we're seeing right now. 2-car breakaway, third car close, and then the rest of the field pretty split up. Buescher, big gap back, 5-second gap back to Suarez. Knows Bowman might be able to get around Suarez for 5th place. But he's got to watch out. Herbst is just trailing him. About a second back. It's not too bad. 3/10 in front, 1 second behind. That's awesome that you're talking to a lot of people about all these different things. Yeah, I feel like Junior, he's very tight with his money, him and Kelly with Junior Motorsports. And so for years, they said, we'll only go cup racing if the charters get cheaper. And that's back when charters were going for $1 million a piece. And then they said, okay, well, we just got to wait for them to get cheaper. And then charters went up to $3 million. And then $10 million. And so they just keep getting more and more expensive. So they kind of missed the boat. I think it would take a specific set of circumstances for Dale to get involved. Maybe a new manufacturer, even though he's very strongly a Chevy guy. So I don't know if he would leave Chevy willingly. But if he maybe kind of did a legacy where they have multiple people buy in. So like Harvick, Busch, maybe have a few different guys, and Kyle Busch could run his final season or seasons with that team. Honestly, if Jimmy Johnson had stayed with Chevy, then I think that would have been the perfect place for Junior to buy into a Cup team. Because it's called Legacy Motor Club. And Junior certainly has a legacy of his own and his father's legacy, so that would have made sense. And yeah, that hasn't gone too well. Legacy, they don't run very well. Yeah, Dale's been very open about he doesn't run a charity. Unless the money's there, he's not going to do it. Chastain's moving back through the field, not for position. So Chastain right now would be working on a top 5 finish if he had not had the pit road issue. Hocevar's still top 10, not bad. Kyle Busch. Byron. Cindric's close to Byron. Gotta watch for that. Cindric might be able to get to him. Only 2/10 back now. Less than 2/10. So Byron may lose a top 10 here in the closing laps. That's barring another caution. Busch, pretty big gap to Hocevar, so he just needs to run where he is. Herbst running 7th is insane. They're doing something fishy, let me tell you. And that's fine. That's NASCAR. Teams are supposed to cheat. It makes me laugh when people say, oh, Hendrick cheats. Oh, Toyotas cheat. They're supposed to. That's where they get the advantage. You know, you bend the rules or you try to break the rules and hide it as best you can. It's just there's a lot less they can do nowadays. So when a team finds an advantage, it really shows up because they're so hard to find in this spec car. All right, Bowman into the top 5. Herbst may also pick off Suarez, and that could slow down both of them enough for Hocevar to catch up. All right, Byron has a few tenths over Cindric. Still close. Still very close. How much is Brad going to hold up Chase here? Oh my goodness. Caution is out. Corey Heim backed it into the wall. All right. We're going to rack him and stack him again. Well, Christian, we got another one. We didn't need to add 60 laps. We got one on demand. Man, if Chase stays out, if I'm Hamlin and Reddick, you know, I would talk between the spotters. We're coming down. We are coming down. Herbst, we're coming. Everyone's coming down. And we're going to try to pull as many cars as we can with us. I mean, they may think they can do it on their own. Hamlin was running really good lap times, and with some clean air, they could have a shot. And Hamlin lining up behind Reddick, he's going to get a good push. Buescher may not deliver a push to Elliott. So we have two teammates, or two manufacturer teammates, owner, driver, lined up next to Chase Elliott. How far back do you pit? Like, how far back are you willing to, like, potentially drop? And also, like, what's the cutoff? Like, does 10th and back pit? Or is it just 15th and back? I mean, what's the cutoff line? Yeah, those rear end hits are really hard in this Gen 7 car. It's a garbage car all around. I hate this car with a passion. The worst thing about this car is when the trailing car gets aero tight and washes up the track. And we've seen that a lot in this race. And also, this car, with the new steering that they have, during the first season of the Gen 7, drivers were saying it's a lot harder to catch. Like, you have a ton of grip, and then you just don't. There's a quick fall off. And part of that also may be on how wide of a tire they're running. But this car's harder to save. You don't see as many people save a spin as you used to without some contact. Maybe if they get into somebody, they save it. Maybe if they get into the outside wall and tank slap, they save it. But aside from that, most of the time, if it's just like a single car incident, they're going to go around. That would be tough. We saw what happened to Brad Keselowski on that last restart before the end of stage 2. He restarted up front and fell back to third in a lap. It wasn't long. And then potentially back to fourth. He fell back a bit. Let me go ahead and update our post-race thing so we can get that going. That would be wild if Reddick ditched Hamlin here. Hamlin lined up on the inside. He'd be coming down. Hamlin faked. Chase stayed up front. I think Stenhouse got the free pass. Bowman was low on the track. It looked like he was coming potentially. I don't know if he came down or not. Reddick did. Looks like Suarez did. Hocevar, Cindric, several guys. I'll be right back. My chair has no thoughts. My voice almost gone. So right now, no stands at 62%. So 38% of people think a Toyota is going to win the race, or did. Obviously, we had a lot change here. I'm going to restart with not that long to go. Reddick's back in 9th. Hamlin holds up Chase for very long. If he holds him up very long, it's going to open the door for Reddick. We could also see another couple cautions. If we see a caution, Reddick picks up 5 spots, let's say, before the next one falls. Then Reddick restarts in 5th. Potentially 2nd row. So if we get another caution, these guys are in trouble. Hey, you did say that, Kristen. You did. Laps are winding down, that's for sure. You just gotta trust. You gotta trust. It's been a good day for them so far. They've made good moves. May both be able to salvage a top 10 here. McDowell not included. Dylan's really far forward. There's no way he makes it. Dylan's gonna fall back like a rock. Blaney's been struggling today, but it could have just been a track position deal. Similar with Byron. So they might be able to hold somewhat. But really, 6th, 7th, 8th, they're going to get murdered by Reddick and Suarez. Hocevar might be making some crazy moves. All right. How willing is Buescher to push? Bowman could really help out Chase here. Bowman has helped 2 different people to wins since he last won. So, could this be number 3? I mean, Bowman, he's giving so much into the system and not getting much in return. Hamlin, really good jump. Reddick's going to 3 wide, going 3 wide immediately up the track. Byron kind of came up and blocked a bit. That's going to help out the front of the pack. Chase Elliott clear at the front. Looks like Byron's probably going to let Reddick go here. He is. Reddick up to 5th. Reddick up to 4th. Washing up the track there a bit. He's going to lose some ground. Buescher back by. So that's going to hold up Reddick an extra lap at least. He just wasn't able to make it stick there and lost a ton of ground. That really hurt his shot there. Stop showing these guys back here. I want to see Reddick. I want to see the leaders. That's all I care about right now. Byron back to 8th. Oh my goodness. Chase Elliott just won the race if they throw the caution here. No caution. We stay green. We had a spinner as they were crossing the line. They could have restarted the race. They don't want Reddick to win again. We're still green. Out of 4. Alex Bowman 3rd place. Chase Elliott. I have to update my leaderboard. I put Hamlin on there. How about that? Chase Elliott taking the win. So we will be transferring over to our live show. So we're going to end this in, I guess, here shortly. And you shouldn't have to go anywhere. You could just stay here. It should automatically transfer you guys over or ask you guys if you want to go over. And we're going to do a little post-race show. May not last long. A rough day in terms of the stream. It was John Hunter Nemechek that went around there. Wild stuff there at the end of the race. We're going to end it here. We're going to restart with our post-race show, so I hope to see you guys there.